Welcome back to 2nicoles1podcast. We're back with our little mini-series here featuring the Bachelorette season 16, and we're on episode number 6.
Woo woo.
Word up. So, I guess we watched the episode, so I think we have ideas. How's it going?
Well, okay, I guess we should just jump right into it.
Yes.
Also,
queen. Sorry.
so, first off, Claire and Dale are done. I didn't appreciate the opening of Claire and Dale. Just go away.
I felt the same.
Yeah, so stop it, ABC. But anyways, on to Tasha. So, it opens up with the grown man challenge.
Yeah, which I thought that was kind of... I mean, I know it makes for good TV, but it was kind of weird.
Yeah, so that's what they did. Bennett was really funny, though.
Yes.
Yeah, it just cracked me up, because he had a talking head where he was like, yeah, I'm really smart, I went to Harvard. And then they do the math and the spelling questions, and he gets them all wrong.
I really empathize with him, because he was like, what was the wording of the question? And that's how I would get questions wrong, because I overthink things, and it's the wording of the question, so I think I would have been Bennett.
Yeah, there's a lot of memes out there I saw this morning where it's like Bennett spelled limousine, and it has like people like trying to do like technical like.
Oh yeah.
I think Bennett's funny though. I don't know.
Yeah, I really like it. To me, he's a front runner. But
yeah, probably
maybe he's kind of middle of the pack.
Yeah. So Tasia does say something about, well, Bennett's bougie, and then she's like, but I'm bougie. So it's like it's funny because I feel like they fit on that, but I actually can't see him winning this competition.
No, well, honestly, he makes too good for TV. I think the producers are going to be like, you can't take him. But honestly, I don't think they have as good as chemistry. I think he's just way too preppy, but he's going to go far.
Yeah. Do you hear sirens?
Yeah.
Why? Like, it's weird that I hear...
They found out about my warrants.
I don't know how it picks up, like, it's, like, not even anywhere close, but it's so weird.
Yeah, we're, like, way off the road.
Yeah, like...
I don't know, maybe one of your neighbors is getting picked up.
Maybe. They are weird. Oh, freaking neighbors. Anyways, so the, Bennett, he goes on to participate in the third part of the challenge where, I guess I have to go back to the tug-of-war part. So he doesn't participate in the tug-of-war part because he says he's an old football injury. And the thing is, like, I feel like he would have been really, really bad at that. Yes. And I feel like he's just too classy to, like, get down on the ground and be rugged with the guys.
Especially, like, he's 36 now. He probably hasn't played... I feel like maybe he played rugby in college.
That's exactly the sport I was thinking. Water polo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think the Ivy League is that... it's more competitive than a football league you and I would play in. But I don't think it's the most competitive. I don't think he played college football.
Yeah, I doubt it. Probably pee-wee football.
Yeah.
So then they move on to the breakfast in bed challenge, and all the guys were kind of cute about it. Chasen. It's so hard to say that because I want to say Jason, but it's Chasen with a C.
Yeah, it's like pick Chase or Jason.
Yeah, stupid people. So he jumps in bed and says he's the main event. I thought that was kind of funny. But Bennett, classy as he is, he gets in a robe and he jumps in bed and he makes her beignets, which I thought was funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was kind of cool that he did that. And then they give a man-child award, and the man-child is Ed. And how he performs and acts in the rest of this episode, man-child is fitting.
Yes, yeah, because I thought it was weird that he got it, but then it was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So his punishment was he had to carry around a baby that he named Carlos for the rest of the episode. And then the winner was Bennett. He wins the grown-ass man challenge.
What was funny to me, though, because, like, so Chasen is all like, yeah, I'm the main event. And then he rags on Bennett for doing the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, wasn't that weird to you?
It was weird. And I felt like their whole, like, Chasen being annoyed with Bennett thing was also, like, it was weird. Because it was just weird because of that. Because you did the same thing. And, like, I took notes on that, and I thought that was weird. But they move to the cocktail portion of the date, and Bennett shows up still wearing that robe.
Yes.
And it's just like, why? And then, but basically, Chasen and Bennett still have a little tension right there because Chasen's still mad at Bennett for doing essentially what he did.
Yeah. And what's funny though is like Chasen's temper, he's so hormonal. His temper gets flared up so quickly, but Bennett doesn't care.
Yeah.
And that's what's funny about it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's like, oh, I don't want to watch these people fight, but
yeah,
it's funny.
So Bennett says he wants to have the first chance to talk to Tasia, but she stops him and she says that she wants to say hi to everyone first. And after she says hello to everybody, Chasen jumps in and steals Tasia away. So Bennett's like,
yeah.
So then, because that happens, Ed now chimes in with Bennett, and Ed is basically saying he feels like Chasen is a phony. He's basically acting, and he has been saying the same things to Claire previously, and now saying the same stuff to Tasia.
Yeah.
Tasia. I'm trying with Bennett. So the same stuff. So Ed is starting to stir the pot and basically saying Chasen's a phony. So while all that's going on, Tasia is sitting with Ben, and I think there's some sparks there.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. Also, going back to Chasen, he very well could be a phony, but I also don't think he knows enough words to have different words to say to each girl.
We did learn that because Tasia's a smoke show.
And that's literally one of 4 words that he said all day,
So, yeah. So, I guess Ed now goes and talks to Tasia, and he basically is saying that Chasen isn't genuine and isn't there for the right reasons. And while then he goes back and he tells Chasen that he told Tasia, like, hey, like, I don't think you're here for the right reasons, and I think she should know. So Tasia's obviously thinking about all this, and she comes and she grabs Chasen, and he of course denies it all. He's there for the right reasons. And so Chasen comes back, tells Ed he needs to stop talking about him, and they kind of get in a little bit of a heated little
debacle.
Yeah, a little bit. So that kind of ends like that little thing right there. And then Ivan and Tasia have a nice moment, I think, on this, and so that's why he got the rose on the date. But Ben thought he was going to get it, and honestly, I actually thought Ben was going to get it too. Yeah. I was surprised that Ivan got it. I definitely figured it would be between the two of them, but to me, it felt like there was way more chemistry with Ben.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
But I mean, maybe sometimes it seems like from like different stuff that I've looked at from like past bachelors and bachelorettes, it seems like they like to give it to somebody who's a little maybe different or something, not the person that would expect it.
Yeah, and I honestly wonder how producer given it is for those roses. Like, yes. Like how much say they actually have when it comes like the dates and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that, because that is kind of not outcome.
Yeah. So next, they are at the rose ceremony cocktail party, and Chasen decides to address everybody now, not just the guys that were on the date before, but everybody, how Ed thinks he's a phony, and Ed's basically standing his ground like, well, you are. So the other guys who never really kind of thought of that about Chasen now are like, oh wait, yeah, he is. Yeah. So basically Chasen just kind of like put a foot in a grave for himself. That was just stupid.
Yes.
So then the next part where they get another riffs again, but this is the part I thought was just silly. Ed now goes back to Tasia and basically tells on Chasen again. And to me, like, I just thought, okay, why are we wasting your time tattling on another member in the house? Mm-hmm. Like, you're here for Tasia. Get to know her. Who cares? You've already made a point that you think he's a phony. She gets it. She understands it. Let her decide for herself.
Yes.
Why are you using this time to be a tattletale?
Yeah, and that was just so annoying to me, because at first I was like, oh, like when he actually it was Bennett that confronted him, but like in my mind I was thinking, oh, well, he confronted him, that's cool, whatever. But after the whole episode went on and all this, it was like, oh God, nagging. Because actually this is the episode where we're really getting to know these guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
We were meeting them for the first time.
Thanks, Claire.
Brought her up again.
Yeah,
and it's just like you're like, oh no, he's not so cool. Especially like he's one of the older guys, and he's at an age where he should start like being mature, but some people never mature.
They're the man child, obviously.
Yeah.
So speaking of like getting to know the rest of them, every time Joe has like a talking head, I'm like, who's Joe? Because it's like you don't really know who he is, and he really doesn't get much airtime. But I did laugh because like I guess that I'm jumping forward to that. Well, I'll tell you about the laughing thing of Joe when I get there. So Tasia talks to Jason again to keep on track about it, and she just kind of whatever. So Chasen decides to be the bigger man. He pulls Ed aside to drop the whole thing, and basically Ed doesn't want to drop it. He just wants to keep going on and on. And a couple of the other guys kind of jump up. I think it was Zach C that jumps up and basically like, guys, like, you're here for Tasia, like, let it go. And then he ends up going away with Tasia. So at the end of it, Tasia sends home Jay, Montel, and Peter. And again,
we don't really know.
No. And Montel and Peter were part of the new group, so we never got to know who they were. And Jay was part of Claire's crew. So we move on to the next group date, and it's a wrestling date where the guys get to fight each other.
Bad idea.
Yeah, and I agree. For how much tension's in the house, like, the producers probably did it like, oh, this is going to be great, but like, it's not a great idea just because there's so much tension in the house. Yeah. And guys are so like...
It depends on what side of the coin you are. Do you like fights? Then yeah, it's a great idea. If you don't like fights, then no.
Well, in this scene, Tasia's oiling them up. And again, what did I think? What would Yosef do?
Yeah.
We need to get like an alert, like every time there's something alarming like that, play something where it says, what would Yosef do?
Yeah, he would flip.
So I'm sure he's at home being very angry that she was painting them with oil and that they were wrestling in their briefs.
Yeah.
So the guys are obviously getting oiled up, and then they start fighting each other. Couple people that paired up were funny. Spencer and Ben fight each other. They're freaking animals. They ended up being like tied. And then, of course, I think this is definitely producer driven. Chasen and Ed are paired up together. And they're 100% producer driven. But as soon as Chris calls them up to fight, Ed jumps up, pulls Chris aside, and says, I can't fight due to old shoulder injury.
Where did these mysterious injuries come from?
Yeah, football injury in the first one. Now there's a shoulder injury. And, like, Chris is like, well, obviously don't want you to, like, get hurt and anything. And then you can kind of see, like, in Ed's talking head, like, he probably was making that up because he's like, I don't want to be in the hospital. Because he probably knows that, like, Chasen's going to, like, beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, that was... And especially since he did the whole, like, prep. Yeah. And then he was like, I can't do it. I have an injury.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what you were doing.
Yeah, agreed. So because Ed doesn't fight, Tasia kind of says, who wants to, like, defend my honor or win my heart or something? So Noah, Mustache Man, he jumps over the fence and says he'll do it. So he fights Chasen, but ultimately Chasen is the winner of that fight. And then they say he's the winner of the whole thing. So he's like the champion. Mm-hmm. So Chris basically says the guys that were on that date, they get to go have an evening with Tasia. And the other guys who were just there watching, because they weren't really on the date, they go home.
Yes.
But Tasia interrupts and says, I want Noah on this date because he like was bold. So she wants him. So the other guys are pissed. Now, here's what I have to say about that. Why are you mad? She invited him on the date. He did not invite himself on this date. Like, they all stay so pissy towards him. And maybe I'm missing something. I don't think he's such of a villain as they're making him out to be. But they literally all hate him. All of them.
Yeah, especially because they're like, he just jumped the fence. He was kind of invited to jump the fence. It's not like he came over like an animal. Like the previews, I'm thinking, oh my God, he jumped the fence.
Yeah.
Like, what did he do? But then it's like, oh, he didn't do anything wrong. So that kind of freaked me out. I mean, I don't think he has the best taste in the world. Like, the mustache thing and his outfit choices sometimes. But, I mean, other than that, he doesn't seem like a bad person.
No, I mean, he's younger, so he might be a little more immature than, like, the 36-year-olds. But, like, he's 25. What do you expect? So, basically, we moved to that cocktail reception portion of the date, and Noah takes Tasia away first, so of course the guys are butthurt, but she basically tells Noah that she doesn't like his mustache and he should shave it off. So he's basically, you see a scene where he's contemplating, like, it's a part of him, and should he do it? And then he ends up coming back and he gives Tasia a razor and she shaves it off. And in my opinion, he looks 100 times better.
It's like a total different person.
Oh yeah, it looks way better.
I mean, I think that the whole thing was he looked older with a mustache, but he still looked creepy.
Yeah, he's definitely more attractive without the mustache, 100%. So he ends up getting the rose on this date. The guys are pissed because Noah wasn't supposed to be on this date. And they all basically were saying in their talking heads that if Noah gets to go on a one-on-one or the other group date, they're all going to be pissed because he crashed theirs. Well, you know what? This is Tasia's show, her season, not yours. So stop being butthurt. Go home and cuddle with your rosé, because that's probably what you're doing, because you're a bunch of ladies.
And they all very well could have been the one that put themselves in the position, like, to not fight, to wrestle with Jason.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they let him do it.
Exactly.
So, you know, if you're not going to step up to the plate, somebody else will.
Yeah, and if we're going to make, I guess we're saying Noah's the villain of the season now. Not a great villain, but if that's what they want us to do, all right, let's roll with it, I guess. Noah, you're a villain.
Yeah.
Bring Yosef back.
Yes.
Please.
Oh. I mean, I kind of feel like, what's his name? Chasen. How could I forget that? Chasen is going to be, like, kind of a villain. And this whole drama between him and Ed is going to stick, which is going to annoy me. And I don't know why she didn't send them home. I would send them both of them. Yeah,
to me, like, you're obviously here to find, like, your husband. So, like, they're causing drama. Get rid of them. Like, they don't... But she did say that she has, like, feels a connection with Chasen, though. She did say that in her talking head and believes deep down he's a good guy.
I mean, he might be a good guy, but do you want to put up with that crap?
Yeah, like, he seems like to me like that ultimate frat boy that's at those college parties. He's probably still going to those college parties, and you know, he's the one that he can, you know, shotgun like 10 beers, and then he's like a womanizer. I'm gonna say it. I feel like that's what he is at a party.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing is, like, both of these guys are very immature, but in totally different ways.
Yes. Ed's like a tattletale man-child, and Chasen's this like
over testosterone kind of.
Yeah, like, and neither of them fit for me. I still think, like, I like Ben, but I don't know that he's gonna her. I do like Spencer, and Spencer really didn't get any airtime this episode, so maybe we'll see that because he'll probably. Oh no, he was on this date. Yeah, he really didn't get much airtime, but I did like him. But I don't know. I don't know where she's gonna go or who she's gonna pick, but we shall see. But I did see in the previews for next week that basically she's kind of like sick of all the drama, and she does call them out and basically say, like, if this is what you want to do, leave.
Yeah.
So we'll see, and I'm assuming it has to do with Chasen and Ed, if I had to guess. Or Noah, who knows?
Yeah.
He's the villain.
Exactly. Ooh. For all we know, it could be like, oh, Bennett's wearing robes, you know, because some of the stuff is so misleading, but, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, who knows? They're just crazy. But yeah, that pretty much wraps this episode up. We'll see what happens next week.
Yes, for episode 7 of The Bachelorette.
Don't forget to rate us on Apple. 5 stars, please. Listen, tell your friends. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. 2nicoles1podcast. And the only one that's different is Twitter, 2nic1podcast. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Unit. I had to get that in there.